The law of correspondence, simply put, is known as a reflection of your own consciousness. In Hermeticism, it's known as above, so below. In biblical terminology, it is as in heaven, so on earth. There are many symbolic answers for the law of correspondence. And I'm here to describe and explain for you to understand how to use this law to better get what you want out of life in any facet of life, whether it be in business, whether it be with relationships, whether it be with inner peace. That being said, that did not work like I wanted it, so. Squeaky ass board. All right, that's better. So as above, so below. You see, life and how it's constructed, we have the internal world and the external. And then we have in between. And in between is our skin. The thing is, most people think that they are separate from the external world, that human beings are separate, that me and this wall are separate, when in actuality it's not the case. Our skin is the barrier between the external world and the internal world. The thing is, when you reach a level of understanding, when you experience higher levels of awareness, higher levels of consciousness, you're able to see that this external world is actually a reflection of your internal world. That all that this physical world is, the third dimension, is consciousness. It is our own consciousness pushed out. For a tree, if it were articulate, it would say, I am a tree. The same would go with a house. It would say, I am a house. The basic fundamental layer of reality is consciousness. It is awareness. Now, we as human beings specialize in a unique awareness where we are consciously aware. And because we are consciously aware, we are able to see that us in the awareness are not separate, but the same. That when you say, I am, you are speaking of the awareness. And that whatever you attach to I am is in itself a conscious state or a thought, an idea. It is consciousness. What we are doing is we are bridging this internal state, this higher level of awareness, our higher self, to the lower aspects of reality or lower vibrations or the physical world. And when these are connected and brought together, they are what we know as manifestation, or consciously realizing our states, mental states. And we begin to be at harmony or at peace with ourselves, with the world, whether we realize it or not. We are acting according to this harmony or this law, the law of correspondence. And we have this internal world. The internal world are our awareness, our consciousness, our desires, our intentions, our attitudes, emotions, imagination, our perception, our will. There are many properties, many attributes to our internal world, to our own minds. And we are able to use our internal world to shape the external world. For it is our thoughts. We'll change colors. Our thoughts shape the external world. The circumstances and events in our lives. Now, this external world is simply a mirror, a reflection of our own consciousness. It is a lower form. While this being a higher form, meaning if you're thinking of vibration, because of the law of vibration, atoms in themselves are vibrating. And mind you, I'm no scientist. This is simply not only my opinion, but this is metaphor, using science to describe your mind and the function of your mind. That being said, the law of vibration states that everything is moving, everything is vibrating at subatomic levels to the grand scheme of things as big as the sun. Because all of matter is moving, all of matter is energy, because 99.999% of physical matter is empty space. It is energy, while 0.001% is actual physical matter. This world is simply a simulation, a hologram. It is as real as the electrical signals running in our brain, meaning it is our eyes that pick up off of the sunlight to produce light. Our ears pick up off of the vibrations in the air to produce sound. The nerve endings in our skin pick up off of the electromagnetic vibrations to produce temperature. In a philosophical sense, we are the creators of our own realities. Shout out to Alan Watts. Because we are literally creating and projecting our consciousness out into space. We can either be victim of it and ignorant about it, or we can be knowledgeable of it and use it for our own benefit and in our own control. This law of correspondence uses and is connected to other universal laws of life. And specifically in this law, it is used to gauge where we are consciously. It is a tool we can use to be more precise for how we are living internally. For mind you, there are things that happen in life that are beyond our control. We may lose a limb or go blind or deaf. Our house may unfortunately catch on fire and we lose all of our belongings. We may lose someone to death or to illness. Things happen in life, and a lot of it is beyond our control. It is our choice for how we perceive these events, whether we choose to grow and learn from them or to be burdened by them and let us bring them down. In the spectrum of life, in the spectrum of how this external world is a mirror to our internal world, that is on one far side of the spectrum. Most of it is within our control. Most of it we can use for our benefit. Instead, people don't know how to use their minds. They don't know how to get what they want out of life. Heck, most people don't even know what they want out of life. And because of that, because of how our mind works, they're continuously playing on repeat what they don't want and knowing that they don't know what they don't want. Knowing that they don't know what they want. You see, this world is a mirror. Physical matter is made of atoms. These atoms are moving. Since these atoms are moving, they are operating at a specific frequency. The combination of atoms creates that specific frequency. If you had a radio, that radio would play a certain station at a certain hertz or a certain frequency. If you wanted to play rock and roll, that would be at one frequency, and you would have to change the channel to tune to the blues, and change the channel again to tune to country music, and so on and so forth. Our mind operates at a set of frequencies. Each state of being or each mental image that we have in our mind is a specific frequency. This physical world is an energetic reflection of the state of being or the frequency that we harmonize with. Because the physical world is made of atoms. Metaphorically speaking, our thoughts, our emotions, because I don't know. I'm not saying I know science like this. What I am saying is our thoughts are simply, it's processing experience. That's what thoughts are. Because thoughts are processing experience, most people think of experience outside of themselves. Instead, you are the experience that you are looking for. You are the experience, period. Because you are the experience, period, by looking within, you are creating an experience. So let's say, for example, you want good health. Good health is operating at, let's say, the frequency of 999.9 hertz, for example. You have to, our state of being, or our, I spelled that wrong, oh well. Fuck it. Nah, I don't like that. Spelling, that's fun. Our state of being or conscious thought is a specific frequency. When we continuously experience a specific frequency or an image in our mind, a certain thought, a certain attitude, a frequency, excuse me, to be more specific, a state of being, we are operating at that frequency. And we have to change that internal world to match what we desire. So if you're at the frequency of poor health or disease, and that's at a frequency of 333 hertz, you have to rise to this frequency. It doesn't come down to you and embodies you. You have to embody it. Awareness being the fundamental level of things. Awareness being all things is perfect. It's already complete. It is what it is. Because it is what it is, you have to attach to it what it is that you desire. And when you attach to it, when you say, I am prosperous, you then, through the power of awareness, through molding and shaping your internal world, you become prosperous. You are prosperous. You are literally hypnotizing yourself or reprogramming your subconscious mind for prosperity. That being said, whether it's wealth, whether it's healthy, happy relationships, whether it's owning a prosperous business, whatever it may be, it is done through your internal world. It is done through your own mind. And then the external world, it reflects this internal world. Most people have it the opposite. Most people think and believe that this external world shapes and creates the internal world. And although there are times and cases that prove this to be true, that the external world does in fact have an impact on the internal world. Like, for example, you take some medicine that helps alleviate cold or sickness. Or you listen to positive music to help you feel better. Most of that stems from choosing of how you perceive yourself, the world, what your beliefs are, whether or not this physical world determines and dictates the internal world or vice versa. Instead, it is our thoughts, our emotions, and the actions that we take that change our lives, not the other way around. Meaning, it's not the external world that dictates who we are, but it's who we are that dictates the world. See, our subconscious is the cause for all of this. Our subconscious mind is no respecter of persons, meaning it's impartial. It doesn't matter what someone else has or what someone else does. No one's better than you, and you're better than no one. No one's less than you, and you're not less than anyone else. The subconscious mind looks at everything equally. It is simply a blank canvas. And it is our responsibility, our jobs basically, to paint the picture that we want to paint on the canvas of our subconscious mind. It is up to us to choose to experience internal states, internal frequencies or vibrations of positivity rather than negativity, of truth rather than lies, of love rather than fear. To experience what is. And what is beyond words, it's beyond comprehensions. It is an experience, a realization of the higher aspect of yourself, of higher awareness. And you see that through operating from the lens of higher awareness, that the law of correspondence is simply a tool of precision. It's here to show you what your internal world is. So if you're thinking thoughts of lack, of limitation, of negativity, that is what you're going to experience. If you're thinking about everything that you're not, everything that you don't have, if you're hateful of or jealous of another person for what they have and who they are, you're going to experience events and circumstances in the external world that will reflect these feelings, these attitudes, these emotions, these thoughts. And that's all that this law is. It is a reflection of our own consciousness. And through understanding this, we can choose to harmonize with higher states of being, with higher frequencies, and use them for our benefit, for our good, rather than being a victim to them, being ashamed of who we are, not accepting ourselves truly and fully. That is all that this law is. That's all that our minds are. For when we harmonize or synchronize, the left hemisphere and the right hemisphere of the brain, you won't have to force anything. You won't have to keep trying and trying and failing and failing. Everything works at ease. Everything works with a purpose. You enjoy every day. And you're grateful for everything, the little things and the big things. For when you are operating out of peace, out of harmony, you see that, like I've been saying, your internal world is being projected on the external space of reality. The only thing that seems to separate the external from the internal is our skin. But really, this is just a projection of our own minds, of the higher aspect of who we are, not so much the analytical or rational aspect of our minds, but the subconscious and even superconscious aspects of our mind, of who we are. That 95% of our mind, not the 5%. For it is within that is the truth, not outside. That's why Jesus says the kingdom of heaven is within you. The works I do, you can do greater. We are all given these laws, for God operates out of laws. He's not some being in the clouds or some being on a throne waiting to judge all of humanity. This is a false conception of God and a false interpretation of the scriptures. The Bible was written to be used symbolically. They're metaphors, allegories, mythological stories to describe our minds and our consciousness and how to use our consciousness to get what we want out of life. It's a beautiful thing. And not just the Bible, any religious text. For it's how you perceive the world, how you perceive yourself, and finding the truth within you. When you find the truth within, it is expressed externally. For that is the law of correspondence. And by changing your subconscious mind, you then begin to change experience. By changing your experiences, you change your life. A major part for understanding the universal laws, for how to use this law of correspondence practically and correctly, is letting go. See that this external world is beyond your control. That people are beyond your control, that events and circumstances are beyond your control. And because they're beyond your control, to try to force them into something is like a hamster running on a wheel. You're not going to get anywhere. Instead, let go of everything that you believe about the external world, of all attachments that you have to other people, to events and circumstances, even to your own body and your own mind. When you let go, you neutralize. The effect of the external on your mind. By neutralizing other people, their energy towards you, events and circumstances, you begin to take your power back. Instead of giving your power to the attachment of another person, of an object like money, of certain experiences or outcomes, and wanting to control them, look inwards, because that's the only place that you can control. The only thing that you can control is your own mind, your own consciousness, your thoughts, and your emotions, how you feel. By controlling how you think and feel, you move away from reaction and you move towards responding. When you react to everything, you're basing your internal world on the external. So something external happens to you and you have to react. You have to attune your internal world to what's happening outside of you instead of responding, instead of, in a way, creating space between what's happening outside of you and what's happening inside of you or within you. When this happens, you can take a moment to see not only how to correctly maneuver what is happening around you, but also to negate anything to where it affects the internal world so that it could never happen. You don't let it. You become unbreakable, basically unmovable. Your skin thickens in a way. And through this, you see that by responding to things rather than reacting, you're in a more powerful position to where you can dictate what happens around you. You can pick and choose what you want in your life versus what you don't want. And it all happens through letting go of attachments, detaching from the external world, from even yourself and who you think you are, who you believe yourself to be. And by doing so, you can pick and choose your internal states of being, or that frequency that you want to harmonize in and with. And when you do that, this external world, by law, like gravity, what goes up must come down. Like the law of attraction, it has to come into your life. You have to experience it. It's the law of life, the law of mind, and how to truly get what you want out of life. It's not about your ego or who you think you are, the voice in your head that's talking all the time, but silencing that voice and seeing that you're moving based off of who you are, not who you think you are, off of your identity, and not so much the identity of the world, the identity that other people put you in, because you don't have one of your own. By not having one of your own, you become a pushover, a people pleaser, become self-hating and unsuccessful, poor, broke, unhealthy, whatever it is. It's a beautiful thing that not a lot of people really are aware of or know about. So if you want peace, if you want money, if you want healthy relationships, if you want good health, you can have all of this. Just know that they are states of being. And think of states as a house you go into. Or in the Bible, it says mansions. In my Father's house, there are many mansions. Mansions being states of being. Shout out to Neville Goddard. And you can pick and choose what house you want to dwell in. It says in the Bible, put on the Lord Jesus Christ, meaning to wear him like a shirt. And you can pick and choose what outfit you want. One outfit could be you are clothed in money. Another outfit could be of abundance or prosperity. Same, it's all symbolic. It's all describing your mind and how each frequency is connected to another, and that you're able to move through these frequencies, to move through these different states of mind or states of being. And by doing so, you can pick and choose which one you want to embody. When you embody it, like a little kid playing make believe, pretending he's a pirate or a prince, or a little girl being a princess, or that the floor is made of lava, or that there are monsters under your bed. They believe it so much that that belief is impressed upon their subconscious mind. And that belief becomes a conviction and is impressed upon your subconscious mind. It becomes a habit. That habit becomes a paradigm. That paradigm becomes your way of life. Most people can't see outside of that picture. They can't see over the mountain. By doing so, by choosing what state you want to embody, who you want to be. You become master of your own life, master of your own fate. You can begin to live your dreams instead of wishing and thinking and daydreaming about your dreams. You can take action on it. So, to put it very simply, some practicalities is have an intention of what you want or a decision. Believe or have faith in that state of being, knowing these universal laws, knowing the science behind these universal laws in metaphysics and how they connect to your mind. Whoops. These turn into action. So as you begin to believe, you start to act as if you literally become an actor of what you want. And when you begin to act and take actions, you're taking steps in that direction that you want. When you start to move towards it, things start to happen for you. Miracles start to happen to where it doesn't make sense. If you want a bunch of money, you begin to impress your mind upon money coming in unexpected ways, and you're asking yourself, why am I receiving so much money? Large, voluptuous amounts of money in unexpected ways. The next thing you know, you're going to wake up and someone's just going to gift you a ton of money. It doesn't matter how it happens. It doesn't matter when it happens or even why. All that matters is the impression upon your subconscious mind, what you're choosing to consciously pay attention to and be aware of. When you're consciously aware of it, that's when, through repetition, through belief, and a conviction in that conscious state, you realize whatever it is that you desire. And that action turns into an experience. Which equals your results. So, like, for example, let's say you want a business. Or, yeah, why not a business? You see yourself in the owner's chair, signing deals, with money coming in. Through transfers from clients. That's your intention. That's your desire, specifically at least. When you begin to believe in that, and consistently visualize and you have a good routine for manifesting, you begin to take action, because that belief is literally propelling you forward so that you will experience what you desire. That action, although small, creates different circumstances and opportunities. You begin to position yourself in places to where you will experience what it is that you want. It works with anything, with health, with relationships, with money, with enlightenment and knowledge, and tapping into your infinite potential, tapping into the subconscious infinite intelligence, to where you become your own creator and your subjective experience. Excuse me. The law of correspondence is magnificent for showing you what your internal world is like. Whether you're living in a cardboard box on the side of the street internally, or you're living in a mansion, in a castle, who you are internally dictates the external experiences that you have in your life. Thank you for watching.